As most of you know, Supergirl is finally hitting theaters this summer. June 26th to be exact. But who's counting? Me. I'm definitely counting down the days. I'm so excited to see Supergirl and Krypto back on the big screen. So I wanted to talk about a few things I'm really hoping to see in the film. Honestly, there's a good chance this turns into multiple videos because there's a lot to discuss. Now, technically, the thing I'm looking forward to the most is Krypto. Because, come on, it's freaking Krypto. But one of the other characters I'm interested in seeing is definitely Lobo. The main man himself is finally making his big screen debut, and I could not be happier that Jason Momoa is the one playing him. Momoa had apparently been interested in playing Lobo for years, and honestly, huge credit to James Gunn for actually listening and making the call. I love when comic book casting feels like it was pulled directly from fan conversations online. Because let's be honest, this is a role Momoa was born to play. The guy already has the larger-than-life personality, the chaotic energy, I can relate, the biker aesthetic, and the kind of charisma needed to make Lobo both intimidating and weirdly lovable at the same time. And the balance is important because Lobo isn't just some generic badass alien biker. The character is way stranger and honestly way more interesting than that. So before I get into his appearance in Superman the Animated Series, which is my favorite Lobo, I think we need a quick history lesson. And for that, I'm handing things over to Luke, the guy people think I steal from, aka SerumLake here on YouTube, aka my husband in real life, to explain exactly who Lobo is and why comic fans love him so much. Here are some of the questions I asked him. Who is Lobo?
Lobo is the main man. He's an alien bounty hunter who doesn't have any issues with drinking, fighting, or fornicating his way through the universe. But he has a strict moral code. If he makes a promise, he will do everything in his power to keep it.
When was he created?
Lobo first appeared in the Omega Men #3, published in 1983, and yes, he did originally look quite different. Following Crisis on Infinite Earths, he had a serious redesign thanks to British artist Simon Bisley, and he changed him from being less Ziggy Stardust to more Lemmy from Motorhead.
Was he always connected to Superman?
No, not at all. In fact, aside from the Omega Men, Lobo is more closely associated with Vril Dox and the Legion. They were an intergalactic peacekeeping force that counted Lobo among their members, but he doesn't hold them in high regard.
Is he actually a villain?
Well, that depends on who you ask. Yes, he did kill Santa Claus and replace the world's Christmas presents with atom bombs. And he has a very reductive view of women. But he does represent the law, and he goes after some of the biggest bastards in the universe. And I suppose if you've got to face monsters, sometimes you need a monster to defeat them.
What's his purpose as a character?
Ultimately, I think Lobo works best as a parody character, poking fun at these kind of gritty, edgy anti-heroes in pop culture. My favourite Lobo parody was Lobocop, where Lobo got so catastrophically drunk and passed out that everyone thought he was dead, so scientists cut his brain out and put him in a robotic policeman's body. His role was to protect the law at all costs so that a big megacorp could turn the planet into a car park. At the time, that was a joke, but I sometimes wonder how far away we are from that in the real world.
What's with the dolphins?
They're not just dolphins, they're space dolphins. They're some of the most majestic and intelligent creatures in the universe, and Lobo just likes hanging out with them. And this just goes to show that even the most hideous and foul people can have redeeming qualities. Or at least one.
And what does Lemmy from Motorhead have to do with any of this?
Technically nothing at all. But I do feel like that era of heavy metal really influenced Lobo's 90s redesign.
My introduction to Lobo was in the STAS episode, The Main Man, which is honestly an incredible introduction to a character, voiced by Brad Garrett. Yes, Robert from Everybody Loves Raymond. Lobo initially comes across like this ridiculous, over-the-top parody of a tough guy. He's a massive alien biker in a sleeveless leather jacket flying through space on a motorcycle. At first glance, Lobo feels like a character that should only work once. He's brash, obnoxious, violent, and completely over the top. The kind of character you assume was created purely so Superman could punch someone through a wall for 20 minutes. But the really interesting thing about Lobo in the DCAU is that the writers kept bringing him back, and every appearance added a little more depth to him. The more you watch Superman the Animated Series and later Justice League, the more you realize there's actually a lot more going on with him. By the time you get to Justice League, he almost starts feeling like an extremely dysfunctional antihero instead of a straight-up villain. In the episode Hereafter, after Superman is presumed dead, Lobo actually volunteers to join the Justice League. And while part of that is definitely ego, there's also something strangely sincere about it. He respects Superman, not because Superman is powerful, but because Superman genuinely tries to help people. And that's what makes Lobo interesting. Beneath all of the biker bravado and chaos, there are moments where you realize he does understand heroism. He just expresses it in the most destructive way imaginable. If someone only saw Lobo at surface level, they'd probably assume he was just a loud, violent, one-off character made for comedy. But if you keep watching, you start to realize that Lobo is one of the few quote-unquote bad guys who actually understands why Superman and the Justice League do what they do. In his own incredibly destructive way, Lobo does have a moral code. He can be selfish, reckless, violent, and completely insane. But when the moment calls for it, he can choose to do the right thing. Which raises the question, is Lobo actually an antihero? Because honestly, I think he might be. And honestly, that's part of why I'm excited to see him in the new Supergirl movie. We could end up with one of the most memorable characters in the new DCU. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope all of you have a wonderful day, and I cannot wait for this movie to come out. Love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.